Welcome to the third webinar in a programme of 5 sessions for STEM teachers and curriculum planners interested in developing STEM in their schools and colleges. In the webinar today, we'll be looking at how to signpost STEM careers to our students. We'll also be looking at one of the cross-cutting themes of the new curriculum for Wales, CWRE, or Careers and Work-Related Experiences. To talk you through this, we've got 2 guest speakers who we're delighted to have with us this afternoon, Geraint Evans from Careers Wales and Miriam Jones from STEM Gogledd. Quite a few slides today with the information about the new curriculum, but please feel free, as usual, to use the chat if you have any questions as we move through the presentation. Please defnyddiwch y chat I ofyn unrhyw cwestiwn o gwbl. Signposting the future is the second pillar of the IRIS STEM development framework that we discussed in previous webinars. For those of you who've missed them and may be unfamiliar with this framework, there'll be a refresher on this in a minute. All the previous STEM Gogledd webinars are available on YouTube or on the Hub STEM Gogledd. PDFs of the PowerPoints are also available. One of us will put up a link for these in the chat later on. Okay, so this pillar is all about providing students with information about potential pathways, careers, courses, training, apprenticeships, so that they can make more informed decisions about their choices post 16 and 18. How you as a school or a teacher can go about doing this is the objective of this webinar. Now, with regards to the 6 pictures at the bottom of the slide, I've taught 4 of these young people, with the exception of Beth Griffiths in the middle here. 2 of these took the apprenticeship route after post 16. How did these 6 end up in their chosen careers? How were their careers signposted? Who had the biggest influence on them to lead them to their pathways? Was it their parents? Was it their peers? Was it Careers Wales? Was it their teachers? Okay, so let's have a look at the agenda today to lead us through this. We've got 3 items to look at. Item 1 is about building pillar 2. How can we signpost the future for our students? Item 2 introduces CWRE, which is the Careers and Work-Related Experiences section, which is a cross-cutting theme for the new curriculum for Wales. This section will be important for those schools starting the new curriculum this Wednesday. Item 3 is where Geraint and Miriam will discuss how Careers Wales and STEM Gogledd can support teachers and students with signposting pathways into employment. So let's quickly recap for those of you that may have missed the previous webinars. We've been looking at an initiative that potentially could help schools develop in STEM. The initiative is called the 4-Pillar STEM Development Framework, and it's been created by IRIS. IRIS stands for the Institute of Research in Schools. The idea of this approach is that a school can develop their own STEM framework by adopting a 4-pillar approach. The 4 pillars are called enriching the STEM curriculum, signposting the future, capturing talent by removing barriers, and developing your STEM community. The red circle is just highlighting the pillar we're looking at in today's webinar. Okay, so let's have a look at the 4 pillars. Pillar 1, enriching the STEM curriculum. This involves schools developing and improving pupil employability skills using STEM activities. It was the subject of the last webinar where ESW, Technocamps, the Institute of Physics and the Royal Academy of Engineering discussed the types of activities they offer to schools. And that webinar is up on YouTube and in our website. Pillar 2, signposting the future means that schools promote awareness of STEM careers and pathways. Pillar 3, capturing talent by removing barriers, means schools can take steps to promote equity of access to STEM careers, such as schemes like Girls into Engineering and Boys into Health careers, such as medicine. This pillar will be the subject of the next webinar in May. The last pillar, pillar 4, develop your STEM community. This involves schools developing educational business links to create good working relationships with employers, businesses, colleges and universities. The webinar for this pillar will be at the end of June. Taken as a whole, these 4 pillars provide a sensible and innovative approach for schools wanting to develop their own STEM framework. Today, we're going to be looking at how to develop pillar 2 with the red circle around it and how we go about improving student awareness of STEM careers. Schools adopting the 4-pillar approach might end up with a framework looking something like this. The framework provides a structure consisting of a coordinated approach from senior management, teachers and Careers Wales. I know it looks like a sort of police incident room with the mugshots linked by pieces of string all together, but I'm going to simplify it a little bit now. Okay, let's take away some of the mugshots and the boxes and things like that, and just have a little look at the signpost in the future pillar 2 section. Okay, that's these 4 boxes here. Okay, let's have a look at the requirement for teachers. Teachers will be developing and embedding STEM teaching and learning activities for the new curriculum. Cure has to be embedded into the schemes of work. Teachers will need to be aware of LMI and STEM career pathways highlighted in lessons. Teachers will be using science capital teaching approach and developing pupil employability skills. They'll need to promote inclusivity and challenge stereotypes, and they can use the EBE for employer visits and talks. Careers Wales will be hopefully providing CPD to support teachers developing Cure. We'll be introducing the new EBE system. There's plans for pupil career planning and diaries and career fairs organising those. Okay, so I think Geraint will explain how teachers and schools can work with Careers Wales to develop their Cure later on today. I'm sure he'll be able to answer questions about the EBE as well. So how can this part of the framework be developed using Pillar 2? Okay. Well, the Pillar 2 strapline from IRIS for signposting the future is shown. Have a read of the highlighted section in the box there. Okay, it's about providing and embedding careers information so that students can make more informed decisions. Okay, but does this pillar, that if you adopt it, does it support the requirements of the new STEM Schools Inspection Guidance from 2022? Let's have a little look. Pillar 2's on the left and the STEM requirements are on the right. If you read the yellow highlighted bits from the pillar on the left and compare it with what STEM will inspect on the right, they're both essentially saying the same things. So Pillar 2 will support STEM requirements. Okay. Now, let's have a quick look. Compare Pillar 2 with the Cure requirements from the Curriculum for Wales guidance. Look at the yellow highlighted parts of the IRIS pillar on the left with the Cure guidance for the Curriculum for Wales on the right-hand side. Both of them are talking about embedding careers information in the learning. And also as a bit of a bonus, this sort of middle box there, priority 3, that's the Regional Skills Partnership priority 3, and it's called Promoting Career Perception and Pathways. So to summarise, if you develop STEM in your schools using IRIS, right, the pillar model, Pillar 2 definitely will support STEM. It will also support the Curriculum for Wales guidance, and it will also support the Regional Skills Priority 2. So happy days. Okay, so how do we do it? Okay, it's all right to talk about it and put loads of boxes up and things like that. How do we actually do it practically? How can we do the bit in the yellow on the left practically and provide effective and embedded careers information and support our students to understand the range of opportunities available to them in STEM? The main idea is that it becomes normal for students to hear about careers information in their subject lessons as part of the curriculum they're studying. And how can you be supported? You know, how can we do about this? What needs to be done to realise Pillar 2 and meet the requirements of the new curriculum and STEM criteria? Okay, but to start with, teachers will need to discuss the types of jobs associated with or linked to the topics of the subjects they're teaching. Pupils will need to go on work experience. It's going to be really nice to see that starting up again because it's been about 5 or 6 years since that was running. Teachers could get school alumni to come and talk to their pupils about their course choices and career paths, and this has proven very effective in many schools. Pupils will need to attend careers and higher education fairs and will need to know how to search for apprenticeships. And they should keep a record of the types of course, jobs, careers, information that interest them in their personal careers plan or diary. And here's the support. Okay, so where can you get more information about Cure? Well, all of these STEM publications can help you, and the organisations listed here can help you. The bottom 2 documents are available to download from the Careers Wales website or the National Hub. They've been published since Christmas. They're pretty new and they are very, very helpful to help you with this. Top publication is the STEM Gogledd support guide, which is going to be available to download after the next webinar. Geraint's going to talk about the support offered from Careers Wales in just a moment, and then after Geraint, Miriam will explain what's available to help pupils on the STEM Gogledd website. Okay, so this brings us to the end of the first section. In this section, I hope I've managed to show you how a school can, that's adopting the IRIS pillar approach can build up a framework for STEM in their schools, and how Pillar 2 supports the new curriculum for Wales and the STEM inspection criteria. So now it's onto the second part of the webinar, and it's about Cwrw. In this part, I'm going to try and explain what Cwrw is, where it fits into the new curriculum, and how it will help promote STEM careers and pathways. So to start with, Cwrw stands for Careers and Work-Related Experiences. On the next slide, we're going to have a look at a student aged 16 who's been following the curriculum for Wales 3 to 16 continuum at a school where Cwrw is well developed as part of the school's curriculum. What could be the benefits to our students of a good Cwrw programme in school? So I'll just let the slide start and move through. Okay, so you can see each of these things here. Starting with the grey bubble on the left-hand side here, pupils should learn how the subjects they're studying relate to careers and employment. Next, the green. Students will have to develop a career plan noting their interests. Careers Wales will possibly develop an online template for doing this. Into the blue, students will need to know where they can go to find out more information about a particular career or course or apprenticeship. Into the brown, students should understand their own skill sets, be aware of what they're good at. They'll begin to realise what types of work they're interested in. Into the gold, it's important that students realise what skills are needed for different jobs and how they can make themselves more employable. Work experience is a must. Students will need an opportunity to complete this. Students will need to develop an awareness of local and national job opportunities that could match their own skill sets and interests. Into the red, I think that was. Finally, okay, the pandemic with its job furloughs and redundancies have taught us that sometimes circumstances may necessitate a change in our jobs and employment. I know a number of people that were working in hospitality that changed over to work in the NHS, and the applications for teaching went through the roof. Developing resilience to employment change comes through being able to adapt, and this in turn comes from understanding what we're good at doing. Okay, so those of you in schools that are preparing for starting the new curriculum in September will have gone through the document shown on the left, which is the new curriculum for Wales guidance. You probably know that the curriculum contains 6 areas of learning and experience, or AOLEs. You might not know, though, that each of these AOLEs has its own Cwrw career statement and guidance for subject teachers. This is because Cwrw is one of the cross-cutting themes of the new curriculum. In the new curriculum, careers will have to be embedded into teaching. All teachers will need to discuss careers and lessons, and links will need to be developed between schools and employers. The opportunities for learners, if this is done properly, are huge. There's lots of research linking an improvement in engagement and attainment to careers being taught in the curriculum. Cwrw also helps pupils to make more informed choices about the routes they can take post-16. So there's loads of plus points about it. However, for this to work properly, teachers will need time to embed jobs and careers into their lessons and schemes of work, and will need to familiarise themselves with labour market information and trends. Okay, so who's going to be responsible for career signposting in the curriculum? In the past, career signposting has been done by Careers Wales, and this will carry on. However, under Cwrw guidance for the new curriculum, this will also have to be done by subject teachers. So there's a responsibility on subject teachers now to be doing this. It's a big ask. They're not careers advisors, and they've not received any formal training to do this. And this lack of training has been recognised, and therefore from next year, depending on their capacity, because there's lots of schools and there's not many Careers Wales advisors, but they will be starting a supportive programme to help teachers develop careers information in their subject. And maybe Geraint can tell us a little bit about this now. There we go. So at this point, we're going to move on to item 3, and it's a pleasure to introduce our guest speakers, Geraint Evans from Careers Wales and Miriam Jones from STEM Gogledd. Many thanks to both of you for doing this. Geraint's going to talk about how Careers Wales can support schools and teachers with the Cure programmes, and then Miriam is going to show how the STEM Gogledd website and explain how it can support pupils. So over to you, Geraint.
Okay, thank you, Hugh. I'll just try and share my PowerPoint now, if you bear with me. Just pre-warning to begin with, I am working from home, and I do have a little Westie poo here that thinks he's Scrappy Doo, so he might go off on one and start barking in a minute. So I apologise for that. I'll try and keep professional and carry on with the PowerPoints. Can you all see the PowerPoints there?
Yeah, it's all
okay. There. So yeah, good afternoon. As Hugh said, my name is Geraint Evans, and I work for Careers Wales as a Cure curriculum coordinator. Today's session is aimed at STEM teachers within primary and secondary schools and settings, and is intended to help you realise careers and work-related experiences in the curriculum for Wales. Throughout the presentation, I'll be referring to careers and work-related experiences as Cure. Cure is the term used by the Welsh Government within the curriculum for Wales. I'll also refer to areas of learning experience as areas as well. So today's session is an overview of the important changes that are happening to careers education in Wales. The aim today is therefore to ensure that you're familiar with the changes, familiar with some of the terms and language to use, and that you feel confident to begin designing and planning for the curriculum for Wales and embed Cure within your school curriculum and area of learning experience. So I'll therefore be discussing the following in today's presentation. I'll start off by introducing you to my role and the Cure curriculum team in Careers Wales. I'll give you an overview of the new statutory guidance regarding Cure, look at why careers education is important, what is its impact on learners and your subject or area of learning, how Cure can contribute towards the four purposes, integral skills and areas. Then I have a video to show you a case study of a school discussing how they are sort of realising Cure within their curriculum. Then I'll go on to talk just a little bit more about who can contribute to effective careers education. That is people, the staff within the school and also outside, including employers and employer engagement. I'll give you a brief overview of the Careers Wales Toolkit toolbox that Hugh's already mentioned, that will hopefully help you realise Cure within your curriculum. And finally, I'll show you our website so that you can go on, find the information resources to help you with all of this. So that's the overview, and this in Welsh, dyma di'r be dwi am gynnwys trwy'r sesiwn. As I mentioned at the beginning, I'm a member of the Cure curriculum team in Careers Wales. We're a team of 8 across Wales, with 2 of us operating in the Gwe area, Chris Brachet and myself. And our purpose is to seek to build the skills, knowledge and confidence of education professionals to deliver an effective careers programme. So we do this through offering training and presentations such as this for teachers, and we also offer a consultancy service to secondary schools and settings. We also do some development work. For example, we have developed professional learning modules and created resources for teachers and education professionals, which we house on our website and on Hub. So our role is to offer support to schools to embed Cure across all 6 areas. Now, considering the education reform in Wales, Cure is being seen as fundamental to developing skills for work and life, and the school curriculum should enable learners to gain experience and knowledge related to work and careers. As such, Cure is one of 5 cross-cutting themes in the curriculum for Wales that must be embedded across all 6 areas of learning and experience for learners, now from age 3 up to 16, and should be considered by all teachers and practitioners when designing and planning their lessons. This is something that might be new to some schools, especially in the primary sector, and an area that practitioners may find they need support with. Well, the Cure statutory guidance has been developed to help with this. The guidance sets out how to plan, design and implement Cure. It highlights that effective Cure is comprised of age and developmentally appropriate careers education, embedded across all areas of learning, which is supported by a wide range of relevant work-related learning experiences and environments. To help ensure that learners are engaged in Cure, schools and settings should have regard to a range of factors such as learners' age, knowledge, and additional learning needs. The guidance replaces the existing 2008 Careers and World Work Framework, which is for 11 to 19-year-olds in Wales. So the guidance was published on Monday the 10th of January this year and is being rolled out in accordance with the timescales set for the introduction of the curriculum for Wales. So thus, in September, for all primary schools, will need to follow the guidance, and secondary schools, either from this September or next September, will have to consider them for years 7 and 8 and so forth. The framework is still relevant as well to secondary schools while it's rolling out, but I would probably advise for schools to take this statutory guidance on board as quickly as they can. As I've already mentioned, Cure is a cross-cutting theme in the curriculum for Wales for ages 3 to 16. So it's important to start the careers conversation early in the learner's education. The primary phase is critical for fostering exploration and discovery. So Cure allows the learner to develop an understanding of the purpose of work in life, both for themselves and for society as a whole. Over time, the learner will become increasingly aware of the range of opportunities available to them. For example, a discussion around different jobs or careers opportunities linked to a topic or theme being studied in the term can broaden their horizons, and in this case, within STEM subjects. Cure can be used to challenge stereotyping as well, stereotyping of roles in the workplace, such as gender, industry, or socioeconomic background, and it can provide role models to encourage learners to work towards their aspirations. Cure is also used to develop the attitudes and behaviours required to overcome barriers to employability, career management, and lifelong learning. Not only those that will enable learners to transition successfully into a career, but to support them throughout their lives as well. Exploration of careers and work-related experience enriches the curriculum. It provides experiential learning opportunities and adds context to what they're learning in those subjects, making links to lifelong skills they will need. Importantly, Cure can also help learners to develop resilience, as it was already mentioned, and the ability to be adaptable in response to the challenges, choices, and responsibilities of work and life. The statutory guidance also takes this further and outlines 5 aims of inspirational Cure, which provide a framework for thinking about the content and building blocks of progression in Cure. So when planning your curriculum, you'll need to consider these. Thus, your learners will need to aim to develop an understanding of the purpose of work in life for themselves and society as a whole. They need to become increasingly aware of the range of opportunities available to them, broadening their horizons. They need to develop the attitudes and behaviours required to overcome barriers to employability, career management, and lifelong learning. Explore opportunities through a variety of meaningful experiences in learning, work, and entrepreneurship, and develop resilience and the ability to be adaptable in response to challenges, choices, and responsibilities of work and life. Now, the 4 purposes are the shared vision of the curriculum for Wales. Learners will be developing their capacities in relation to the 4 purposes throughout their time at school and beyond. So if we think about the 4 purposes through the Cure lens, then they look like this. This is the Welsh slide. If I just move on to the English slide. So, the expectation for learners to aim high, embrace learning and actively build their careers, thus becoming ambitious and capable individuals. There's expectancy for them to aim to create opportunities and develop the skills they need for their careers, thus becoming enterprising and creative. Learners need to prepare for careers that will have a positive impact on the culture, community, society, and the world, thus becoming ethical and informed citizens. And they should experience personal growth and strengthen their well-being and personal agency as they build their careers, thus becoming healthy and confident. When designing career in the curriculum is influenced by 3 interacting and interconnected parts. First one, the characteristics of learners themselves that impact on their progress in achieving the 4 purposes. Then 2, the immediate contributions of the supporters and opportunity providers who can assist learners in reaching their goals. So, for example, schools and settings, and others like the family, the community, employers, Careers Wales in secondary settings, and FE and HE. And then 3rd, the wider contextual factors that affect learners' chances and choices. So, as you can see from this image, the learners are at the centre of the 4 purposes. So then in the darker green are the support functions I mentioned that to ensure learners can achieve the 4 purposes, and the lighter green are the potential factors that can influence career. So schools and settings should help learners to begin appreciate the importance of using skills integral to the 4 purposes within careers and work-related experiences. They should encourage learners' evolving perception of their potential contribution to the future world of work. This learning will progress to enable them to appreciate how their contributions can benefit not only themselves, but also the future prosperity of their communities, Wales, and the wider world. So if we look at the integral skills, and first of all, creativity and innovation, well, through being actively engaged in real-life examples from the world of work, learners can develop their confidence to be more curious and inquisitive. This enables learners to begin to consider, investigate, and generate novel solutions to problems, which can provide opportunities to develop an entrepreneurial mindset. If we look at critical thinking and problem solving, well, as learners begin to develop their critical thinking and problem solving skills, career contexts can be used to encourage risk taking. Applying these skills to their own career pathway supports learners to be better understand the correlation between the risk and reward and how this impacts on their experience of the world of work. Learners should critically analyse a diverse range of information to shape their views and perspectives of the world of work. This will support them to understand and consider the impact of their decisions now and on future generations. Personal effectiveness. Well, learners' growing self-awareness and confidence contributes to their appreciation of their self-worth and how this relates to what they have to offer to the world of work. As learners progress, they should increasingly reflect on their effectiveness during and after careers and work-related experiences, enabling them to identify strengths and areas for further training and development. Developing an inquiring mindset encourages learners to be open to acquiring new skills. This can support learners in becoming more adaptable, which will enable them to access further opportunities in the world of work. And finally, planning and organising. Well, experiencing these skills in authentic contexts can help develop learners' decision-making and reflective thinking skills. Career allows learners to demonstrate their planning and organising skills, such as implementing their ideas, setting goals for themselves, time management, and monitoring and reflecting on results. Learners can be encouraged to become increasingly independent, which will support them in taking greater responsibility for their development in work and their study. So embedding career in areas connects learning to real-world contexts and to young people's futures. Career provision needs to engage with each of the areas. All areas help to prepare young people for their careers, and all areas are enriched by thinking about how they contribute to the development of young people's career knowledge and skills, and how learning in the area will continue to be used throughout life. Schools therefore need to ensure that career learning is progressive, with learners being appropriately stretched as they develop. Thus, you will need to contextualise areas through career. So embedding career learning in the areas can help learners to explore progression pathways linked to that area, recognise the relevance of learning in the area to careers, work and life. You can use examples from Careers and World Work as a resource and context for learning in the area. Know the value of qualifications in the area, explore work tasks, roles and places associated with occupations in the area, explore the changing nature and future work in the area, know about application processes for learning and work opportunities in the area, meet role models who work in that area, and understand the importance of this area to the culture, economy and society. So these are some of the aspects you need to consider within your area when planning career in your curriculum. Right, I think it's fantastic for practitioners to see what I've been discussing throughout the previous slides, to see how it looks like in a real setting. So a special thank you to Mike Cameron from Tonnereval Community School, who has recorded the following video highlighting how they have developed careers within their curriculum, right through from nursery up to year 13.
What we do with all of our programs, try and have a line of sight to
So thanks to Mike Cameron for that recording. I hope you found that interesting. He mentioned there about embedding career within the school's curriculum, conceptualising learning and using employers to help with this. For example, getting a police officer to discuss how he uses report writing with his job. So embedding career within your school's curriculum should be a team approach. Schools and settings should be supported by a range of committed contributors to be able to realise effective career through their curriculum. So right from governors, management committees, or the local authority can play a key role in ensuring career is reflected in a school or setting's strategic planning and reporting. As part of the vision and curriculum development, they should consider an inclusive and whole school approach to career. So you will need their support. So senior leadership plays an important role in the strategic development of career in the school. The support of a senior leadership team will be needed to drive the ongoing development of the curriculum, and they should oversee the development of a coherent and effective career programme for all learners with clear progression outcomes throughout the learning continuum. They should ensure resource allocation for career, including for professional learning for yourselves, facilitate wide stakeholder involvement, including staff, learners, parents and carers, employers, Careers Wales in secondary settings and the wider community. And they should liaise with and support the career leader or the careers coordinator to maintain regular updates on progress and communicate outcomes. Then you have career leaders or careers coordinators in secondary schools. So in the primary schools, you might not have many career leaders, but I would suggest that somebody does lead on this. And they empower practitioner ownership of and commitment to career. So the career leader will coordinate and facilitate an inclusive whole school approach to career. They should liaise with practitioners to assess learners' needs, create and maintain relationships with stakeholders, including learners, provide support to practitioners with embedding career in the curriculum through maybe sharing effective practice, and identify career learning outcomes and monitor progress. And then finally, you've got the curriculum leaders or head of department and the teachers themselves, and they play an important role in implementing a whole school approach to career. So they should contextualise learning and opportunities in career throughout the curriculum for all learners. They should also consider learners' potential career ideas and pathways, ensure appropriate involvement of parents and carers, and access and make effective use of appropriate professional learning opportunities. So there's definitely a team approach within the school, but not only within the school, but you will need support from outside the school, for example, employers and stakeholders. So employers can work closely with schools and settings supported by maybe third-party organisations like ourselves and publicly funded bodies to provide opportunities to inspire and motivate learners. They can provide learners with an insight into the world of work and the skills needed to succeed in the future through engagement and enrichment activities. Employers can provide a real-world context for a wide range of learning provision across the whole curriculum, showcasing a range of employment opportunities. Employee engagements can show learners the value employers place on positive professional attitudes and behaviours, including being motivated, resilient, curious, adaptable and ambitious. Careers Wales can organise events and activities between employers and secondary schools through the Education Business Exchange, the EBE. Now, school applications should be managed on a whole school basis, in line with the need to manage careers education as a cross-cutting theme, rather than maybe individual teachers making random applications. So I would therefore suggest that the careers coordinator or career leader or a member of the management team in the school lead on this. Unfortunately, we are only able to support secondary schools at the moment because that is what our funding is traditionally allowed and linked to the Careers of World Work Framework 11 to 19. We have asked Welsh Government to look in detail at what support primary schools need, and this is the subject of a research project that will begin shortly. So for secondary teachers, I will show you later how you can access the EB on the Careers Wales website. I'll also show the primary teachers where they can access advice on employee engagements on the website as well. So I think Hugh touched on these earlier, but to make support available to schools and teachers in terms of Cwrw, the Welsh Government commissioned the CDI, that is the Careers Development Institute, and Careers Wales to develop a Cwrw toolkit and toolbox. So these resources have been developed in conjunction with regional consortia, and they provide schools with information and resources to support them in realising Cwrw in the curriculum. They're digital resources that have been on our websites now since January this year. They're suitable for teachers and senior leaders across all schools and settings and are free to use. So the resources include the toolkit, the purple on the left, and the toolbox on the right. The toolkit provides information to support the development, implementation and evaluation of Cwrw, and the toolbox contains examples of tools and templates for collecting, analysing and presenting evidence of the quality of the school's Cwrw provision. The toolkit, it's not prescriptive, but it will give you some guidance and is an optional resource. So you're free to use elements of the toolkit and the toolbox when and whenever you need it. So in relation to the toolkit, the CDI is undertaking a feasibility study now for a new award to replace the Careers Wales mark, which finished at the end of 2021. The mark was only offered to schools and settings offering careers education to 11 to 19-year-olds. So we're still in the very early stages at this point, but as the curriculum for Wales is for 3 to 16-year-olds, I'm excited to say that work is beginning to look at what we can offer primary schools in terms of an award or recognition of your careers programme. So we'll keep you up to date with this progress, but I'll show you later how you can access the toolkit and toolbox on our website. Okay, so that's the sort of the PowerPoint. So I will now show you the Careers Wales website so you can find information and resources that I've been talking about to help you with embedding Cwrw within your curriculum. But before I go on to do that, if you do have further questions, then please get in touch with the Cwrw curriculum team. The top 2 emails there are generic emails to the team that you can send if you've got any questions. But as I mentioned before, I've included there, get mine and Chris's emails there. So I cover secondary schools in Gwynedd, Anglesey, and most of Conwy, plus the Welsh medium schools in North East Wales, and Chris covers parts of Conwy and North East Wales. North East Wales. So if you've got any questions, so from a secondary school point of view, we do offer bespoke consultancy and training. From primary at the moment, we offer presentations like this, generic ones, but by all means, send us an email if you've got any questions. So I will stop presenting this now and I'll try and share my screen to show my website. So bear with me at the moment, please. Okay, let's see. Oh. Okay, can you see the website?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay. So this is a relatively new Careers Wales website now. We've had a website for about 20 years, but last year we have sort of revamped websites to try and make it more user-friendly. So you can access it by going on careerswales.gov.wales or in Welsh, gyracymru.llyw.cymru. So at the top, you can contact us, and there are sort of information about events that are coming up that might be of interest to you, and any latest news from a careers point of view. The sections at the top, which are repeated further on. So, for example, you can signpost your pupils to these there, or some of the sections here. But some of the sections here that you can use as well. So, for example, if you want to help pupils to find apprenticeships within STEM apprenticeships, then there's an apprenticeship search there, and you can search for apprenticeships that are advertised on our website, but also there are links there to different sectors and large employers who offer apprenticeships. We have the Buzz Quiz, which is a short personality quiz that takes about 5 minutes to complete. Doesn't need any signing in there, so quick questions, brings up the pupils, maybe the learner's personality, matches them to maybe skills and some jobs. We then got the job matching quiz, which is more comprehensive than the Buzz Quiz. Pupils will need to sort of sign in here to save their results. So job matching quiz is exactly what it says on the tin there. It's a quiz, they answer questions, and in the end it brings up a list of careers, jobs that might suit the learners. You can then also point them, signpost them, or use the job information, subjects and jobs for use to help maybe exploration of jobs linked to STEM. But I'm going to concentrate a bit more today on our new education and teaching professionals section. So this will give you information resources to support Cure in the curriculum. So if I click on the section, hopefully it will be quick. This section is divided into different schools and settings. So I'll quickly show you the primary and secondary today. If I click on the primary, it has three subsections. So the careers in the curriculum and primary resources are repeated in the secondary section, but will be slightly different. The employee engagement is in the secondary section as well, but will include the EBE. So if I quickly just show you this, and this will be suitable for both primary and secondary. It'll just give you general advice about careers in the curriculum. We have developed links to professional learning that we've developed over the last year. So there's a playlist, online playlist for primary teachers, secondary teachers, head teachers and governing bodies, ALN, and also labour market information. Let's see if I can show you. If you click on that, no, it's not that, sorry, it's this one. It takes you there, and then you can launch the playlist either through the medium of English or Welsh and go through that by yourselves. And that will be similar for the secondary schools. Also, at the bottom, you'll find the tool, statutory guidance and careers and work-related experience, the toolkit and toolbox. So if I click on the statutory guidance, this is where it'll give you a little bit of information, but there's links to the new statutory guidance and the 2008 Careers and World Work Framework. So if I just show you that, that will take you directly to Hub and to the statutory guidance on Hub. So if you scroll down, there's information there, but also if you go to each area, there is a subsection there on Cure as well in each area. So if I just scroll back, and that's going to be the same for the secondary schools. For the toolkit and toolbox, you click on here and you can download and open them by clicking on there. And there's some just general advice there on what the toolkit is, what it's for, who it's for, and so forth. Right, scroll back. Okay, and I'll show you the resources. Again, there'll be similarities between the primary and secondary resources here. If I click here, okay, for the primary, we have the Career City and Career Craft on Minecraft. For the secondary, we'll have Careers Craft. Well, Career City is an engaging and easy to manage resource that raises awareness and understanding of the work people do across different sectors. And it links to the 6 areas. And by clicking on there, there'll be links to open it. Careers Craft is our award-winning interactive resource that encourages learners aged 8 to 13, so it covers part of the secondary settings as well, to learn about careers in specific sectors and industries in Wales, maybe develop their skills and discover more about their own strengths and interests. Again, if you click on there, I'll show you this. It'll be similar for the secondary section. Careers, it's available to any sort of Minecraft user through the Minecraft marketplace, or you can download it and use it through Hub, through Education Edition as well. I'll just scroll back and just quickly show you the secondary section. So again, there's a bit more sections here. So similar to the primary, you've got careers in the curriculum, which will be similar. Teaching and learning resources will be similar. But if I just show a bit more here, you do have the links to the job information, subjects and jobs. Again, job matching quiz and buzz quiz. Also, there are additional resources here that we house on Hub. Webinars and workbooks that were created, also a directory for secondary, and there'll be one for the primary there, so with links or showing websites that might be useful for you. So if you click on Hub, it will take you to here, so there's quite a bit of different resources on the Hub there, and I'll try and show you. If you click on the resource directory, what you'll get is this. So there's general, websites that you can use that might be useful. So there's one, specific to STEM there. But if you scroll down as well, we've got some websites linked to different areas of learning. So there's science, technology there, and maths there. So there might be some useful websites there that you can use within your lessons and to bring and embed Curie. So if I click back again, so in addition to which is different to the primary, we've got the employer support for schools, which is slightly different than what's in the primary. So here is where you'll access the EBE. So the link is there. So if you click on that, you can then sign in and register. So the Education Business Exchange has changed over the last year. I might have been around some schools in the northwest of Wales promoting Education Business Exchange and employer engagements and trying to encourage schools to make requests for Careers Wales to support you with employer engagements. Now it's changed. What used to be the case was each school, secondary school, used to have 2 staff who were trained as admins. So every sort of request had to go through them. Well, now any teacher anywhere in Wales can register and sign in and make a request. Okay, but what I would suggest that you do, if you've got any ideas or great ideas of employer engagements that you'd like to do within your area or subject area, then please go and discuss it first with the career leader, careers coordinator, or somebody from the senior management team who's responsible for careers, just to see where that fits in from a whole school perspective. What we don't have is the capacity, if we have hundreds and hundreds, of teachers across Wales making requests all at the same time, and we definitely don't have the employers who will be able to respond to that. So please take a whole school approach. But if you've got ideas, please, we do want schools to use it, but speak to either the career leader or a member of the senior management team first. But you can access this and sign it in from there. If I scroll back again, just a little bit more information here. For secondary teachers as well, if you've got career leaders who want an accredited qualification for doing that work and some more training, we do offer careers leadership certificates at level 6. There's a section there for labour market information as well. So this section has links to various websites. So, for example, the North Wales Economic Observatory and other general websites and sector skills councils, where you can get more information and data to help you when embedding Curie or to help you inform pupils. We also have the Careers Wales Mark. Now, as I mentioned earlier, that has finished in 2021, and by hopefully September next year, we'll have a new award that will be able to offer definitely secondary schools and hopefully primary schools as well. So those are the main sections that that you could use on our website. We do have as well a YouTube channel, and we've got videos. For example, I've got a video regarding the Career City there and Careercraft and other short videos that you can use, you know, on things like apprenticeships, options, and so forth that can help you. Now that sort of concludes that. If you've got any questions, then I am, you know, willing to either answer them now or by all means send them on to the emails I provided earlier. Thank you for listening, and by all means ask any questions later.
Geraint, fawr iawn. Thank you very, very much indeed. That was absolutely superb. The website is brilliant. It really is. The Careerscraft Minecraft thing is superb. I've had a go at that. It's excellent. When you're talking about the EBE though, with the teachers doing you know, approaching their sort of EBE officer within the school, if it's built into their sort of schemes of work, it can be planned in advance, can't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what we want. If it, you know, if it's in your schemes of work, planned in advance, make sure that there are discussions on a whole school basis, but there's nothing stopping you then, you know, registering and making a request through the EBE. Or it depends on the school. Some schools might want to sort of have one person sort of managing it and making those requests. Depends on each school. But what we have is business engagement advisors that then will respond to that request, organise an employer to come in or to do it virtually or visits even, in order to sort of help contextualise your subjects.
So the EBE then, as you say, you can get people into like STEM ambassadors from industry to come and talk to your pupils, but can you also arrange visits to industry with it as well?
Yes, yeah, it can be visits to industry, or it can be somebody coming into school. We've had examples before, you know, in maths, for example, maybe somebody from the construction industry coming in to talk about how they use like trigonometry, but, you know, doing that lesson. So it's contextualizing. Maybe structural engineers we've had going in, linking with physics and maths as well, and showing how they use algebra and so forth. So it's possible to, you know, to use them in order to contextualize what you're going to be learning through maybe the what matters statements and so on.
So I'm thinking maybe about James who's on the call here now on the webinar, his school going into maybe Toyota or to Airbus.
Yeah.
And Adrian going into possibly Model Ice, having a look at Model Ice, and maybe having a look at RAF Valley from Bodedon, you know. Yeah. So they could do that. They could organise that by their EBEs.
Yes. So it takes, you know, the workload off schools, doesn't it? Really. So they can just make a request. It's a simple. They just register, sign in, and make. It's a simple sort of. It's a simple form, but they can always get in contact with either myself, if it's secondary, it's only for secondary schools, mind you, at the moment. So they can either get in contact with myself if it's sort of Northwest Wales, or Chris Bereiche, Northeast Wales, if they want any sort of help with that.
And we can certainly be very busy, Geraint.
yeah. But that's why we're saying maybe again a whole school thinking about the schemes of work, planning for a term or whatever, discussing it at a school level, making requests with plenty of, you know, time. So for the business engagement advisor to be able to arrange that and organise that.
That's great. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Can I just mention one thing before I finish? Sorry, I will be sending later on afterwards a evaluation form, please. So please, by all means, it'll only take about 5 minutes to complete. It's sort of a link to ServerMK or online form. So I appreciate your feedback, and we need to also feedback to Welsh Government on events like this, please.
Not a problem at all. And I can put the link as well to the recording today around the schools around North Wales as well.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Geraint.
Thank you.
Miriam, do you want to tell us a little bit about STEM Gogledd's website?
Please, yes. There we go. Yeah, so hi everyone. I won't keep everyone too long, I'm aware of the time, but I'll use these last few minutes just to show you our STEM hub. So as part of our project, we've developed our own, essentially our own website to showcase what we have and to showcase the information and guidance that we have on STEM opportunities. So I'll just share my screen with you quickly. The links and information on here might be a good aid when you are developing your own STEM framework within schools. So I'll show you. There we go. Can everyone see my screen? Assuming.
Yes, Miriam,
Yeah,
sorry.
there we go. No worries, no
microphone was
worries.
off, sorry.
All right. Okay, so here we are. So this is the homepage. So I'll just scroll down here. So these are the navigation boxes, and these will help you guide your way through the site. So the main ones of interest, I would say, to today's participants would be this new addition we have here, which is the Teacher's Corner. I'll just show you that quickly. So on here, we've got links to information on STEM ambassadors, different STEM providers, some revision support there as well, useful activities and information on running your own STEM clubs, general resources, and obviously some information on STEM competitions and challenges. So I'll just go into one or two of these to show you what's in here. So if you're not sure where to start, these are quite useful links just to get an idea of what's out there. So you've got your STEM learning, techno camps, ESW, and so forth. There's quite a few there. And it's quite similar on, I'll go on STEM clubs as well, just to show you. So we've got links to videos here, useful information. These are just examples of what we've got. You know, how to facilitate your own STEM clubs and so forth. So on here, after we've finished these webinars now, we will be launching the digital copy of Who's guide on developing your own STEM framework. So we will share that with everyone who's registered an interest so far, and we'll put it on here. We'll go back to the main page now. So seeing as we are I've been discussing careers and signposting and so forth, I'll just show you our own STEM careers section here. We do also have links to the Careers Wales websites that Geraint has just showed. We've also got a link to the new curriculum, so basically to the Hub website on here. So I'll just give you a brief overview on this. So we've just got these here. So these are more applicable to our students, really. But it's a good place if you've got pupils who aren't sure where to start. You can click here. You've got some general links, Careers Wales, and the Mind Careers Craft that Geraint just showed earlier. It's on here, National Career Service, where to start. And we've also put some spotlights on various careers and various areas of STEM within here as well. So quite an useful section. We've got Q&As with real life doctors here, for example. Quite a variation in there. And we've also got some general links to get pupils' imagination going and get spark their interest in STEM careers. We've also got some post-16 information here. So we've got links to apprenticeships, support with apprenticeships, and also some FE links there as well. So, and we've also got the same for your post-18 choices. So a bit more information on a university and what to do. We've also got some information on degree, apprenticeships, and even self-employment as well. We've tried to cover every basis there, really. So I'll go back to the main bit now. There we go. So I'll leave the rest to you, really. We would really encourage everyone that's taking part today to have a look at the site and let us know what you think. Let us know, you know, please do have a look at the Teacher's Corner. We have developed it with you in mind, but we would really love to know, you know, what would you like to see on there and what resources do you feel that needs to be included here? We are also developing a STEM map of North Wales. It's quite a big project, and we are hoping to see it finished now in May. And we will share that as well with everyone who's registered today and for the other webinars. So some exciting things on the way there as well. I'll hand back to you, Hugh.
Thanks very much indeed, Miriam. I mean, that business map that you're going to be making will allow a school to actually look and see what businesses and companies that are around that school, and then you can be able to click onto it and make a link to those businesses, which should be very, very useful as the career is developed within schools. I'm just going to share this for a couple of minutes, and then just come from that, and then from that. Okay, so really just to wind up today, just to thank yourself, Miriam and Geraint, for the presentation today. The next meeting is on the 19th of May. That'll be looking at building the third pillar of the STEM framework, and it's called Capturing Talent by Removing Barriers. We've got Technocamps and ESW coming to talk about how they're doing their programmes to get girls into engineering, how they can get, we're looking at maybe getting boys into medicine and underrepresented groups like that. And then on the 30th of June, building pillar 4, developing your STEM community. Maybe we can have that, maybe with a bit of luck, it might be ready by then, Miriam, who knows, that STEM community thing. But that's the final one of those. And as I said, all of these will be available to download. They'll be on the STEM Gogledd website. So really now, if you've got any questions, please, ask them. Anything in the chat, Miriam, at all?
Not at the moment, no. But to anyone watching the recording as well, please do get in touch if you have any queries. We've got our email addresses, stemgogledd@gwynedd.show.cymru. Quite a mouthful, but also have a look at our site as well. All the information to get in touch with us is on there. It's our domain is stemgogledd.cymru, so please do get in touch.
Right, well, thanks very much indeed. That's brilliant. Thanks very much for your help again, Geraint and Miriam. That's most kind.
So,
Cheers.
thank you.
Thank you.
Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.